फर्जंदे ज़हरा ये हालात बुरे हैं।
काशाना-ए-बसीरत एक ऐसा मुकम्मल यूट्यूब चैनल जिस पर महरूम बसारत के लिए बिलखुसूस और तमाम अफराद के लिए बिलमूम सैकड़ों की तादाद में इस्लामी कुतुब दस्तयाब हैं। लिहाजा गुजारिश है कि आप अपनी जिम्मेदारी निभाते हुए काशाना-ए-बसीरत को सब्सक्राइब करने के साथ साथ बेल आइकॉन को प्रेस कीजिए ताकि आप इल्म के हुसूल के साथ साथ मजहब अहले बैत की इशाअत में भी अहम किरदार अदा करते रहें। काशाना-ए-बसीरत
फर्जंदे ज़हरा ये हालात बुरे हैं।
Part number 13 and point number 33. Narrated to us Abdul Hussain Sohle bin Shoaib Taliqani in the month of Ziqat in the year 339 AH that he said, narrated to us Abi Abdullah Ahmad bin Ibrahim bin Malkhat that I was in Baghdad in the company of Shaykh. When the Shaykh Abdul Hassan Ali bin Muhammad said to me in the beginning, may Allah have mercy on Ali bin Hussain bin Musa bin Qummi, the Mashaykh noted down that date. The news arrived that he had died that same day, and Abdul Hassan Sumari passed away after that on the 15th of Shaban in the year of 328 AH. Point number 34. Informed to us Muhammad bin Ali bin Matil from his uncle Jafar bin Muhammad bin Matil that he said, when Abu Jafar bin Usman Amari as-Saman was in his last moments, I was sitting near his head and asking him about the questions and talking to him. And Abdul Qasim Hussain bin Ruh was sitting in his feet. Amari turned to me and said, I have been commanded to make a bequest in favor of Abdul Qasim Hussain bin Ruh. The narrator says, I got up from the head side, took the hand of Abdul Qasim and seated him where I was sitting, and I myself sat down near the feet. Point number 35. And informed us Muhammad bin Ali bin Matil that he said, there was a woman called Zainab from the people of Abba. She was married to Muhammad ibn Abdul al-Abi. She had 300 dinars. She came to my uncle Jafar bin ibn Muhammad ibn Matil and said, I want you to give this money from me to Abdul Qasim bin Roh. My uncle sent me with her to translate for her. When I entered upon Abdul Qasim, he addressed her with an eloquent tongue and said, Zainab, how are you and what is the news of your children? She did not need my translation. She gave him the money and came back. Number 36. And informed us Muhammad bin Ali bin Matil that he said, my uncle Jafar bin Muhammad bin Matil said, Abu Jafar Muhammad bin Usman al-Saman, known as Al-Amiri, called me and gave me a small embroidered garments and a sack of dirhams and said, you need to go by yourself to West at this time and give what I gave you to the first man who meets you after your climb over your courser to the waterway in West. A tremendous shock overwhelmed me, and I said to myself, a man of my stature and sent for something like this and is assigned to carry insignificant items. I went to Wast, dismounted from the courser, and the first man who encountered me, I asked him about Al Hassan bin Muhammad bin Qattat, the pharmacist and the representative of endowment in Wast. He said, I am him. And who are you? I said, I am Jafar bin Muhammad bin Matil. He recognized me through my name and gave me greetings. I gave him greetings and we hugged each other. I said to him, Abu Jafar Amari sends you his greetings and gave me these little garments and this sack to give them to you. He said, praise belongs to Allah. Muhammad bin Abdullah al-Amari has just died and I had come out to procure a burial shroud for him. He opened the garments and there was all the needed, a Yamani cloak, shrouds and camphor. There was money in the sack for the porters and the diggers. We attended the procession of his burial and then I returned. Point number 37. And informed us Abu Muhammad Hassan bin Yahya Alawi, the nephew of Tahir in Baghdad, on the side of the cotton market in his house, that Abdul Hassan Ali bin Ahmad bin Ali Akiki in the year of 298 AH came to meet Ali bin Isa bin Jarrah, who was the vizier at that time, so that he could advise him regarding his government and to advance his needs to him. The vizier replied, you have many relatives in the city, and if all of them start talking like uh, start talking start asking their needs, and if we decide to entertain all of them, it will become a huge task and we will never be able to resolve the matter. Akiki replied, therefore I am asking my need from them, one through from whom difficulties are solved. Ali bin Isa inquired, who is he? He replied, Allah the Mighty. With this, he went out of the room angrily. Akihi used to say, I came out angrily and was saying, Allah, the Lord of the universe, gives patience on every calamity and solves every difficulty. Uttering this statement, I left from there. Then a messenger from Hussain bin Roh came to me with the message from him. I complained to him about the wazir, and he in turn narrated my complaint about the wazir to Hussain bin Roh. The messenger returned and gave me 100 dirhams. I counted all of them and weighed them. He also gave me a handkerchief and some quantity of hanut, that is, camphor, and a few shrouds, and declared, your master has conveyed salutations to you and said that whenever any difficulty or sorrow befalls you, at that time wipe your face with this handkerchief. It is your master's handkerchief. Take this money, camphor, shroud along with you and throw that tonight your wishes will be fulfilled. He also said, when you reach Egypt, Muhammad bin Ismail will die 10 days before you, and then after 10 days, even you will leave the world. This shroud and camphor are for you. I took it from the messenger and he left. I was busy at home when there was a knock. I asked my servant, is everything all right? Go and see who is there. He went to see and replied, everything is fine. The wazir's paternal cousin Hamid bin Muhammad Khattab's servant has come. He brought him to me. The servant said to me, the wazir and my master Hamid have called you. I mounted my horse and went ahead till I reached the lane of Wazinin and saw that Hamid was sitting and waiting for me. When he saw me, he advanced towards me and shook hands with me, and both of us headed for the Wazir's house. The Wazir said to me, O old man, Allah has fulfilled your wish. Then he apologized to me of his past behavior and gave me some official paper bearing his seal. I took them and came out. Abu Muhammad Al Hassan bin Muhammad says Al Hassan Ali bin Ahmad Al Akiki narrated this to us in Nasiban and said to me, these scents have not come but from my aunt. He said he did not mention her name. I really wished the scents for myself. Al Hussein bin Roh had told me I have lost the commodity. He had written to me about what I wanted. So I went to him and kissed his forehead and his eyes and said, O my master, show me the burial shrouds and the scents and the dirhams. He took out the shrouds for me. There was a clock in them which was embroidered and was woven at Yaman, 3 garments from Khorasan, and a turban. The scents were in a sack. He took the dirhams, I counted them. They were 100. I said, O my master, give me 1 dirham from them. I will make a ring out of it. He said, how can that be? Take anything else from me. I begged and entreated that I wanted a dirham from those dirhams. I kissed his head and his eyes. He gave me a dirham, which I fastened in my handkerchief, then put it in my sleeve. When I went to the inn, I opened the long sack which I had and put the handkerchief in which the dirham was tied in it. I put my books and notebooks over it. I stayed some days and then came back to get the dirham. The sack was tied as it had been, but nothing was in it. Different thoughts were ravaging through my head. I went to the door of Al Akiki and said to his servant, Khair, I want to see the Shaykh. He took me inside. Al Akiki said, what is happening? I said, my master, the dirham which you gave me, I did not put it back. He called for his sack and took out the dirhams and counted them. They were 100 by number and weight. There was no one with me I would suspect of wrongdoing. I asked him to give it back to me. He turned me down. And then he went to Egypt and took his lost commodity. Muhammad bin Ismail had died 10 days before him, and then he died and was shrouded in the burial shrouds he was given. At point number 38, narrated to us Ali bin Hussein bin Shahzaweh that he said, narrated to us Muhammad bin Abdullah from his father Abdullah bin Jafar, narrated to me Muhammad bin Jafar, narrated to me Ahmad bin Ibrahim, that he said, I went to Lady Hakima, the daughter of Muhammad ibn Ali al-Raza alayhi salam and the sister of Abul Hasan al-Askari in the year 262. I conversed with her from behind the curtain and asked her about her religion. She named to me the Imams she followed and then she said, and al-Hujjah ibn al-Hasan ibn Ali and mentioned his name. I said to her, may I be sacrificed on you? Do you say this on the basis of observation or on the basis of the word of the infallible? She said, words of Abu Muhammad, which he wrote to his mother. I asked, where is then the son? She said, he is in hiding. To who are the Shias to turn for guidance? To the grandmother, the mother of Abu Muhammad alayhi salam, who has he emulated in signing a woman as his deputy. He has emulated Al Hussain ibn Ali. Al Hussain ibn Ali assigned his sister Zainab bint Ali in the superfices. The learning and knowledge coming from Ali ibn al Hussain were attributed to Zainab ibn Ali in order to maintain secrecy over Ali ibn al Hussain alayhi salam. Then she said, you are scholars of narrations. Have you not narrated that inheritance of ninth from the sons of Hussein ibn Ali will be divided in his lifetime? Point number 39, narrated to us Muhammad bin Ibrahim bin Ishaq Talqini that I was in the company of Sheikh Abdul Qasim Hussain ibn Ruh with a group of people including Ali bin Isa Qasri when a man stood up and said, I wish to pose some questions to you. He, Ibn Ruh, replied, you may ask. He asked, please tell me if Hussein alayhi salam is the wali, saint of Allah. He replied at once, yes. He asked, is it possible for Allah to give power to his enemy over this friend? Hussein bin Ruh said, pay attention to what I am saying and remember it. You should know that the Almighty Allah does not speak to the people directly, but He sends some prophets of His to them. If He had sent none humans as prophets, they would not have gathered near Him. They would have shunned Him. That's why the prophets were from the people, that is, human. They used to eat like humans and walked in streets and bazaars. People used to say Him, you are like us and we are like you. We do not accept that you are prophet, but that you present some miracle. If you show a miracle, we would know that you have a special distinction from Allah, which we do not have. Thus, the miracles of the prophets are greatest proof of the veracity of their claims. Therefore, some of them, after warnings and completion of proof, presented the miracle of the flood and storm, and arrogance were drowned. Some were such that when thrown into the fire, it became cool and comfort for them. For some of them, the sea split and the enemies drowned in it. Almighty Allah turned the dry stuff into a python. Of them were such through whose hands the Almighty enlivened the dead, and for some split the moon, and in some way gave speech to animals like camel and wolf, etc. In other words, the divine prophets presented such miracles that people were not capable of performing them. The wisdom of Almighty was such that the prophets, through they possessed the miracles, sometimes they achieved victories and sometimes they suffered defeat. If they had always been victorious and had never suffered defeat and calamities, the people would have mistaken them for being God and considered them all powerful. Thus, the prophet, despite their miracles, was sometimes victorious, successful, and sometimes vanquished. Therefore, the people did not perceive them to be omnipotent and realized that there was a power above the prophets who is the creator and nourisher of the universe. They were compelled to confess to him and obey his prophets, who are the proofs of Allah over the people. Anyone who saw their propagation, warnings, and sign decided and confessed that it was the truth and worth obedience. In this way, they secured their salvation, and those who deviated from this and became inimical for the divine messengers fell into everlasting chastisement. So that so that he who would perish might perish by clear proof, and he who would live might live by clear proof. Muhammad bin Ibrahim bin Ishaq says that the reply of Hussein bin Ruh was so astonishing that the next day he went to him to ask him whether it was his own reply or he had learned it from infallible Imam. Hussein bin Ruh told him, O Muhammad bin Ibrahim, I never say anything on my own, even in the most difficult circumstances. Rather, the source of all the things is from the favors I have received from the proof of Allah and heard from Him. At point number 40, Narrated to us Ahmad bin Muhammad Yahya al-Ather, narrated to us my father, narrated to us Ahmad bin Shazan bin Noam Shazani that 480 dirhams were given to me as a religious dues. I added another 20 from myself and sent them to Abdul Hussain al-Asadi and did not tell him about the 20 from my own. The answer came, the 500 dirhams of which 20 were yours were received. Muhammad bin Shazan says, after that, I sent some money and did not specify who the senders were. The receipt that came specified the name of each individual and the amount he had sent. Abu Abdul Abbas al Kufi said, a certain man took some money to deliver to the Imam. He desired to see a proof. The master of the age wrote to him, if you should desire guidance, you will be guided, and if you seek, you will find. Your master is saying to you, bring what is with you. The man says, I kept dinars out from the money that was with me. I did not weigh those 6 coins and passed on the rest. A letter came, return the 6, which you took out without weighing. Their weight is 6 dinars and 5 danik and 1.5 grain. I weighed the dinars and they were as the Imam had said. Narrated to us Abu Muhammad Amr bin Hussain bin Ishaq Rusni, that narrated to us Abdul Abbas Ahmad bin Khizr bin Abi Sohle, that after he had been fascinated with the search and investigation into the matter of imamat after the 11th and had left his homeland to find out what to do, a letter came to him from the master of the time as follows: whoever searches, he seeks, and whoever seeks, he leads on, and whoever leads on, he destroys, and whoever destroys, he worships a deity other than Allah. At that, he gave up the search and returned. It is narrated about Abdul Qasim bin Roh that with regard to the tradition that His Eminence Abu Talib brought faith Islam on the basis of numeric values of Arabic letters. Ibn Roh tied 63 knots with his hands and then he said it means that Allah is Wahid, one, and Jawad, that is generous. Point number 42, narrated to us Ahmad bin Harun Fami, narrated to us Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Jafar Himari from his father from Ishaq bin Hamid Khattab that he said, there was in Qom a faithful cloth seller. One of his partners in his business was from Muraja sect. Once they received a very fine piece of cloth. The believer said, I will send this cloth to the master, Imam, his partner said, I don't know your master, but you can do what you like. So the believer sent that cloth to the Imam. The Imam cut the cloth into half, kept one piece and returned the other, and said, we don't need anything from Muraja. Abdullah bin Jafar Himari said, an epistle came to Sheikh Abu Jafar Muhammad bin Usman Emery from the Imam expressing condolence at the passing away of his father. One part of the epistle said, indeed, we are from Allah and to Him we shall return. We submit to His command and are satisfied with His decree. Your father has lived in good fortune and has passed away with dignity. May Allah mercy be upon him. He has joined his friends and masters. Your father was always in the affair of Imams and whatever would bring him near to Allah. May Allah brighten his countenance, forgive his mistake. May Allah give you more reward. And from the success of that departed one, it is sufficient that he had a son like you, who would succeed him in his place and invoke mercy for him. And also say that thanks to my Lord, because the hearts of Shias are happy because of what Allah has made in you. May Allah help you and make you succeed. May He be your guardian and protector.